What's going on, guys? This is Mike back here again from Dark Magical Gaming, this time bringing you a 9th place Swordsoul deck featuring my friend Arturo. Arturo, what was your tournament report for the regional?
All right, so I was X2. I didn't even think I'd get 9th place. So I think the last round I was X1, and then I got X2. And my opponent I think got 3rd place, so that's why I think I got 9th place. But as far as matchups, round 1 it was against Warlock. I don't know if that deck will ever be relevant, but yeah, it was 2-0. Round 2 was against Flunder. They went first. I couldn't play. Game 2 I went first. They couldn't play. Game 3 they went first again. So I lost that one, 1-2. Then round 3 another Flunder. I 2-0'd that one. I did go first. Round 4, Despia 2-1. Game 1, I did brick, but Despia is it's a pretty easy matchup for the most part. Round 5, I played against Outlich with a small branded package. Game 1, he had like double torrential, double strike, judgment, dogmatic punishment, and I was able to still play through all that. Game 2, he had floodgates. Game 3, I made him go first, not knowing he was playing branded, and he activated branded fusion. I went Ash. He set 3, I activated Harpy's Feather Duster. He went Solemn Judgment. I'm like, I'll take that. He's at 4,000. He ended up giving it to me because we had like a minute left, and he was at 1,200 life points to my 7. So, but yeah. And then after that, I played. The guy said it was Adventure branded Eldritch with DP. Game 1, I just put up a board. He couldn't stop it. Games 2 and 3, he saw Fusion Destiny without the bricks, and he was playing a 6-card deck, and I don't know how that deck works, but it was working for him. But I managed to get that one. Round 7, it was the mirror match. Game 1, he went first. He just had everything. Game 2, I made him go first. We got deck checked. He said when we got our decks back, his hand was weaker than before. And then game 3, I just ended up getting it. And then my last round, which was my second loss and stopped me from being top 8, was against Dragon Link with the Adventure package. It was a 60-card pile deck. Game 1, I imperm his Chaos Ruler. He set 1 pass. Game 2, he made an insane board, and I was like, wow. Game 3, he had Valor, Crow, and then on his turn he drew Droplet in my monsters, and yeah, I just couldn't play through that.
Yeah, nothing you can do about that.
Right.
All right, well, congratulations on 9th place.
Thank you.
Good job. So let's get into this profile and see what you played.
Okay, so the meta has changed in the last couple of weeks because we just had a YCS, so take it with a grain of salt. I'll let you know what else I'm playing now that's been working, but standard 3 Ecclesia. You also have 2 desires now, so you definitely want to max out on this. 3 Moye, standard. 3 Long Young, standard. 2 Tai. I never liked playing 1. It's just great follow-up. It just lets you keep playing because you draw the other ones you're not going to be able to play by themselves, but this one you will, so always like to. So now we're going with the Tenyis, 3 Ashina, 3 Vashuda, 3 Adhara. Now I'm trying the water one with Circle. I'm not playing Circle. I wasn't playing Circle then. I just think you always have to play these at 3, especially if you play Vessel and or Circle. Obviously, this is your best one because it gets you anything on deck. And then let's let you bait out things like for Despia, and let's let you recur. So I just like playing them at 3. For hand traps, I played 3 Ash, 2 Valor, and 2 Crow. I only saw 1 Despia, but Crow is insane in that matchup. It's okay in other matchups, but I don't really like. I'd rather play something else than Crow for anything else. And then Valor was good, and then Ash just always good. And that was for the hand traps. For spells, you played 3 Rhoda, of course. Played 3 Vessel of the Dragon Cycle. I love this card. Right now, I'm kind of messing with the ratios because Imperm and Valor are back in the game, so gotta try different things. But I love this card because it just nets you so much advantage. But that's it for the 3 ofs. Konami made me believe in God again, so we have two desires again. You just have to play it. Like, it's just...
So free.
It's so free, and people act like Banishing 10 is such a big deal. When you play a bunch of 3-ofs, like, this is just pot of greed. It's not... You're not losing resources. I mean, sometimes one game I did banish all my long youngs, but I still was able to play. It's fine. Broken card. It never came up. I always think about cutting it. It's good. I just never see it. When I do see it, it does pretty well. And Konami gave us this card. For me, personally, I don't think it's that good. It didn't do anything, and when I did activate it, it didn't do anything. So I don't play it anymore, but I did play it. And then the last 3 hand traps, 3 imperm. I think it's just mandatory this format. Love it. And the last is 1 blackout. Searchable, so we'll play 1. Alright, that's it for the main deck. So, you gotta play the bays.
Yeah, gotta have those.
So, I played the 1 Baron. You only need 1. You were making the other one before, but now you kind of have to make this because people are starting making Nib, so that's unfortunate. 2 Boxia. This card is kind of the deck. It's just insane. This card just does so much for you. Not once to return either of the effects, so gotta play 2. Chow Fang. This is how you play around Nib and other light monster effects like Veiler, Ogre, Gamma. So it also gets you a tuner if it's destroyed, so gotta play it easy. You're so easy to make it. I did play Crimson Blader. It did not come up at all, and I feel like it's kind of slow, so I just cut it. I'm playing Adamantipator's Dragite now. I think it's much better. 1 Berserker. Really good level 8 synchro that has great synergy with the deck. Also, if you can't get access to like a monk, you can always just summon this, make monk, because it's not a long like Tenyi. Just good. And then for your Swordsoul monsters in the deck, 2 Shishao. It gives you resources. It's just a good monster on board to negate things. So obviously 2, always mandatory. The 1 new synchro, Xing Long one, he is insane. So whenever I did have him on board, it just did everything for me, but it hardly ever got to stay on board. And then Cheng Ying. Cheng Ying's also insane, just to finish games. So yeah, I think this is pretty standard. That's all. Oh, I have 1 more synchro. Yazi. Ever since Rodon got banned, you don't make Yazi as much, but if they have like Token Collector and you summon Long One, and you normal summon like a Veiler, you can make this, pop Token Collector, keep playing. So, and someone did modulate my levels with Drytron before, and I was still able to make this and keep going, so still need it, I think. And that's it for the synchros. So I played 3 monks. I love monk. I think you definitely need to play at 3. In the mirror match, I actually summoned Ashina from hand, and my opponent had a Baron, and he was like, that's fine. And then I made the 3rd monk, and he was like, oh, you play the 3rd monk. And by having the 3rd monk, it just helped me bait the negate. So I think it's needed, and I love playing 3rd monk. And the last is Shaman. Shaman's really insane. It's probably the MVP of the day. People forget that if you have Shaman on board and you have Monk, you attack with Monk, and this effect will trigger, target something, pop it, and then if it's a monster, you can just redeclare. So against the Eldritch deck that had a little bread package, I just kept attacking with Monk, and then use effect, trigger, pop, back row. That's how I kept getting rid of that stuff. So, and if they like debury you, you can just try to go to this and like just try to pop their board. Just try to like get as much resources off their board, which I did last night, and it really did help. So, just there's ways to play around stuff like that. But that's it for the extra deck. 15, so 41 main deck, 15 extra deck, 15 side deck. For the side, I was playing 3 Nibiru. I don't think I ever used Nibiru, but it's Nibiru, so. I played 2 Droll. I think I also didn't see this, but Flunder, Therion Punk kind of hurts this deck sometimes. Drytron, yeah. And then I played 3 Stop Token Collector cards. The golds really do draw, but I would play the ultras if I had the other 2. But yeah, this is just for Token Collector, and then also it also kind of helps if your opponent were to side red reboot, you can just put these in instead of imperms, because you're not going to use it. You want to like side out cards that are good for going second, so I might side imperms and put this in just for Token Collector. And if I don't get Token Collector, that's just a pseudo imperm I can set for my opponent. So loved it, gonna keep it. I was very afraid of back row, so for back row I made 3 Cosmic, 1 Harpy's Feather Duster, and 1 red reboot. Harpy's Feather Duster, I drew it games 2 and 3 against the Eldritch deck. Game 2, he had Heavenly Lord up on board, so I couldn't activate it, but then once he summoned it, I activated it, got rid of everything, but he kept generating resources. And then game 3, I activated, he judged me, and I was like, I'll take 4,000 off for that. But yeah, this deck does play through back row really easily, so I'm probably gonna cut some things just to make room for other things. And then the last 2 were 2 anti-spell. This won me 1 game against Flunder because they had like Lightning Storm, Power Prosperity, Power Duality, and of course it's amazing against Despia. So yeah, our friend Steven does not like anti-spell fragrance because it also hurts Pendulum's. Pendulum worst deck actually.
Don't worry, I'll come back.
Yeah, and I love Ecclesia.
Yeah. All right. Any closing? Was there a card for you that was better than everything else? Like there was a card that really just overperformed for you?
I think I just have to shout out to Shaman. Like, it was just popping things and getting rid of things that were problems. Like I said, if I would get de-barriered or stopped, I could just keep doing those kinds of things and pop things I needed to pop.
All right. Well, thanks for sitting down with me today, and hope to see you back here again soon.
All right.
Good luck in the future.
Thank you.